Killzone 3. Now, that game looks really, really cool. And, I mean, I couldn't see it in 3D, you know, watching it through a TV and everything, but it looks so bad.
I had a friend who was at E3. He said it was he said it wasn't as great as he thought it would be, but it was awesome.
Did he get the new Xbox?
It was like born over again.
He's not an Xbox fan.
But, yeah. Killzone 3, you know, they showed off this cool level where there was like some helicopter action and there was these people in these jetpacks and like there was one scene where like he gets shot out and then like
the jetpack flies up.
The jetpack explodes, he gets shot all the way up into the air and then crashes down. It looked pretty badass.
I was watching with Chief and we were just like talking and then all of a sudden that happens. Like, wait. That was awesome.
It looks pretty standard, and like I've been a fan of Killzone series since Killzone 1, back when it was a cult classic, and I didn't like that where you shot a guy enough and I was like, wee. Although I do like the part that now you have jetpacks.
Yeah, and then I mean
it was cool.
That was like, you know, their first thing showing off like, you know, we still love the hardcore. This is us in 3D. This is how we're going to, you know, push graphics and everything. And I think they really nailed that. So then, you know, moving forward, they had to go, you know, where everyone else was going, but in a different fashion. You know, they showed off the move, and they showed off a couple different things. Like, one of the first things they showed off was Tiger Woods, which they had showed off, you know, with Wii Motion Plus, and it's actually getting, you know, more and more popular. I can see B North is smiling over there because when we were watching it, we couldn't find it.
You can keep talking. We'll bring it up at a later time. Continue with what you were.
All right. So it actually looked kind of cool. You know.
Is it a fighting game?
It's a very real. No, it's not a fighting game. No Tiger Woods jokes. All right, we'll just go right into it because it's hard to move forward. The person who was playing the Tiger Woods at the demo had no self-confidence in himself whatsoever. He's just like, this game is so realistic. Like, the developers must be like fooling around with me because they put all these trees here. They know I have a swing that I always go like,
I can't do a left hook. I can't do it. It's not possible. And he kept bitching. And then like every single shot he'd do the same. Oh, let's see if I can make this one. I probably can't, but we'll see.
They should have got Tiger Woods.
Let's show off the gimme system. And then like he would redo the shot because he messed it up so bad.
They're like, and it's so like real. It's like exactly like your motion. And you know, me and Chief were joking around, like, you know, having like maybe like Tiger Woods' wife making an appearance, and you know, you can do the realistic motion right into his face. It's so real. It's like that'd be really fun if you could beat up on the characters. I would buy that game.
It's like you know, puts his balls and all. You son of a bitch.
Yeah, checking out the motion control. I mean, I think if anyone who's been a fan of the Tiger Woods series, I think this is actually the one to check out. I think this is probably one of the most impressive ones that they will have released in the last few years, and I thought it was kind of cool, even though I'm not really a huge Tiger Woods fan. But moving forward, like we kind of joked about, I think Sony had the best, you know, presentation as far as who they had and what they were saying and everything. Like they just did such a good
hilarious,
job.
I gotta say.
They had Kevin Butler, who's most
that was hilarious.
He's most known for all those commercials, you know, where he appears behind the desk, you know, making like Sony jokes. But like, it's so funny all the different ways they were ripping on Nintendo and Microsoft left and right. I mean, like one example, they're like, oh, you know, people like to play shooters, so like maybe they'll like hold up their fingers, you know, because. What are we in 3rd grade? Like,
making fun of Microsoft's Kinect, like
Kinect.
Holding his fingers up, like looking stupid.
And then, you know, attacking Nintendo. He's like, you know, our characters now have
these really cool features, you know, like arms.
And
me and Chief were just laughing for like a minute and a half after that. That was just too
You know
good.
what? The Mii's had that coming because they look awful. All right, they're terrible.
That was just too good.
So I mean, they certainly took their shots at the other. You know, companies, and I really appreciate that because, you know, in a world where everyone's getting increasingly casual, they actually did a pretty good job in respecting the hardcore. But yeah, moving on with Move, they showed off a game called Sorcery, where
we kept joking because like it looks like, you know, it sounds like, oh, let's play some sorcery. I don't know, it sounded weird, but it looked really cool.
Yeah, it actually was kind of impressive.
It sounds nerdy, but it's awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Sorcerer.
You use the Move controls, and it basically functions as a wand, as if maybe if you're like a Harry Potter fan or
Harry
something.
Potter himself.
But I don't know how much of the actual aiming was done by you, but you actually use the spells with the wand, and you're actually playing like a serious sort of game with the move, which is kind of promising. It wasn't your fitness stuff. It wasn't anything like that. It was actually a legitimate game. So
my only concern is that it might be too easy, because what they were showing, I mean, I'm sure it gets more difficult than what they were showing, but like, it seemed so easy to do this stuff that, like, all right, let's just do this and this, and voila, you have a flaming tornado.
Well, I mean, also, I think he was also, practicing day in and day out.
Yeah,
that way he doesn't screw up.
Yeah, when you're the developer, it's pretty easy.
Well, I mean, say that to the
Miyamoto.
Zelda. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, right, yeah.
True. But
that was like so like different,
Especially because like they started out Nintendo with like a guy who was playing it crappy, and he's like, oh, I just can't do it. Oh wait, let's get him out here, and then he's just as bad.
And he's doing a bad job.
Anyway, so Sony.
One thing that they also discussed at this, and it wasn't mentioned previously, even though it was highlighted at the EA conference. We have to mention it now. Crysis 2 looks pretty sick, and it's going to be coming to PS3 as well. And I know from someone who actually had hands-on with this game, because he was at E3, and he said it was blowing him away playing it in 3D. And just sitting there watching stuff with some friends, they were just saying, like, that is Grand Central Station, and, like, this is New York. Like, and you got to think about it. If you take all the things the Crysis did right as far as the physics and the engine, and you translate it to a modern and urban environment, like, there's so much potential with
Absolutely.
that. And I think that was really impressive.
And that's what's so intriguing about Crysis, is because their engine can support the most realism anyone has ever made. It's just if you want to go for realistic, Crytek Engine 3 is the engine.
Yeah.
That's it.
And so obviously had to mention Crysis, but going back to some other Sony announcements, they had Heroes on the Move, which is kind of like following in the almost Smash Brothers idea of taking a bunch of characters that are famous of being Sony characters, whether it be like Ratchet and Clank, Daxter, Sly Cooper, things like that, and then throwing them all together, and then making like a platformer and stuff. That looked interesting. It's promising because it was kind of like a platformer with move controls, but the move controls, it was still mostly just playing like a controller, except when you have an item in your hand or something, you're actually using move controls. So it's just the right amount of motion control, like kind of what Mario Galaxy did.
Okay.
And so I thought that could be interesting. They got into some PSP stuff. Most notably, I have to say, God of War. Ghost of Sparta.
That looked cool.
That I am definitely excited for. That was the first God of War for PSP. Was probably my favorite.
Chains of Olympus.
Yeah, Chains of Olympus was so good, and it just works so well because, like I mentioned before, the PSP lacks that second analog stick. But when you play a game like God of War, where the camera is independently controlled and all those buttons are there, you don't need it, and it just
works so well.
Presentation value is great. It looks fantastic. Definitely watch out for that.
Yep.
But probably the thing that impressed me the most at this press conference was Little Big Planet 2.
Haha.
Oh my god, that looks so cool.
There's games inside of games.
I mean, I thought I was shocked.
You can make RTSs.
You can make RTSs in Little Big Planet. Like, what? Like, you can make anything.
Yeah, you can do so many different.
Oh my god.
Games.
You can make a lot of games. You can make an RPG.
Yeah, they said there's no type of game you cannot
hours.
make it. Like, and I kind of believe them after seeing that.
Yeah, I mean, they showed gameplay montages. They showed people making them. They gave it to people who only played it for a few hours, and they were able to make these really, really impressive levels. And we're not just talking about the traditional, old school Mario Party, sorry, tripping over a lot of words today. Mario style platformers. It's actually, like we mentioned, RTSs. I've seen bumper carts. I've seen anything. You can make anything with Little Big Planet 2. And
it's good. It's really good news because Twisted and I were really pushing those barriers with our levels, and we really wanted more headroom, more chance for expression, and we were like riding the edge like all the time, and we never could finish a lot of them.
Half of the levels I tried to create that I would barely get done with the beginning, and I would already maxed out my thing. I'm like, God damn it!
Yeah, I was at the dumb down.
Yeah, I asked myself a lot, like, why do we even need a Little Big Planet 2? I mean, the first one's great. There's all these assets in there. Like, what